Joe,
Yeah, baby.
Joe, you take it forever, baby.
Building that anticipation.
I do appreciate that. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you again for joining us here on a beautiful Saturday night. Let me tell you what, we are coming on.
I think
hot.
it's Saturday morning.
Ooh, Saturday morning, Chris. That's true.
About 15 minutes.
Okay,
15.
so Friday night. It's Friday night. It's Saturday, Sunday. What? We are coming in hot from a Cubs game that we got.
This may not be a pregame. This is probably more of a postgame.
Oh yeah, post game tonight.
The postgame, pregame, Saturday night.
Good call, Joe. Good call.
Yeah.
Good call.
Podcast SNP, SNPP.
PP
Pregame.
It could probably still be Saturday night pregame or post game podcast.
I mean, it's definitely a Saturday night pregame in that it is Friday, which is pre-Saturday. So technically,
it could be a Saturday night post game podcast.
Can't be because we're not on Saturday yet.
Oh, true.
listen here, Doc.
You're right.
I'm sitting here like Marty.
Hey,
I don't quite
understand
understand the physics, but I think tomorrow's tomorrow and today's today.
That's a twist off.
No.
It is.
I thought we went over this. They're not.
No, they are.
It is.
We do have one more we can try. We
do.
can figure it out.
Oh, go ahead. Go
Did
get
you
it.
see how good that was though?
That's pretty solid.
It was
Pretty
smooth
solid.
as butter.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you again here for joining us on a Friday night. I got my boy Chris on the ones and the twos.
I had to take the song off for a second. Now we're back up on
Pat Lynch, I don't know if he knows where he's at. I got this beautiful
breathing heavy.
individual right next to me to the right.
We said 1, 2, 3 mic test, and Pat went.
Beautiful boy here.
Is it 2 weeks in a row for Joe?
2 weeks.
That's a 2 weeks in
Ladies
a
and
row
gentlemen,
counter.
You know what? You know how you got Joe? Because we have
We got 4 on the podcast instead of 3.
new subscribers in 2 weeks. Joe's like, oh, wait, I can come back. You guys might make some money in 10 years. I'll be there for that.
What's that?
Got it.
Another one? People are interested?
Another one, Devin.
Attention possibly on me?
Yes, I love it.
Oh, well, I guess I could show up.
Thank you again for joining us here. Hit the like, subscribe. Check us out on
Ring the bell.
Instagram, Twitter at Podcast SMP. YouTube is Podcast SMP. You can email our buddy here,
Pat Lynch.
at the SMP podcast at gmail.com.
Check
I hope you guys
Ring the bell for me and Peter.
Can I bring
Please.
3 random Japan facts?
come on in, baby.
Just real quick.
Yeah. That last week's podcast number wise did tremendous. Just based on, I have to get a clip out there, but I want to get a clip on based like just a Japan journey because the whole thing was. I listened to it again and it's very interesting because a very detailed kind of trip on Japan.
I don't want to over talk it. We haven't burped on the podcast in a while.
I did
Where's
3 times last week.
Where's that dude in the? Oh, okay. Yeah.
I did 3 times last week.
You know, we're missing.
Chris has not been.
We're missing old YouTube guy talking about commenting on our burps. Mr. First Commenter talking about.
If you haven't, go back. Like maybe actually
Probably about 80
yeah.
years ago.
You know it's crazy. So we'll get back to you in a second here, Joe.
That's okay.
Joe Rogan just hit 2,000 podcasts. We are at
2,000, really.
He just hit 2,000. We are at almost 150.
So in your head, like, what's 2,000 divided by 365?
I think he does 3 a week.
Like, if you do like 3,000 divided by 300, that's like 10 years, right?
No, I think he's.
So
Yeah.
you got to be somewhere close, about 6.5, 7 years.
No, I think you're right, Chris. I think he's at 10 years. Honestly, I think he started in early 2010.
He's at 2,000, right?
Yeah, I think 2010 is when he started.
But like, if he's at 360, or if he's at
In
365, I apologize.
Divide by 52 and then go down.
No. The way I'm looking at it is,
Pat. Let's hear your math. You break it down for us for a hot second.
I apologize. I was thinking he was doing one every day for 365 days out of the year.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
not the case. Yeah, you're
the
right.
number.
I think he was doing 3, but yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, Joe.
Hold on.
Yep.
I have the answer. Let's make this into a little ACT question. All right. Who's scoring?
So
who's
we're doing a
scoring top
podcast.
number?
So we're doing a podcast every day.
I want you to tell me the year he started.
So I think he
doing
started in
podcasts.
2008.
Okay. Chris?
This is gonna suck because I want to kind of know what the equation is that you use, but like
At this point, run
doesn't really matter.
all the equations across the screen, much like they did in The Hangover, which was a play.
I'm gonna jump Peter.
Rain Man.
I'm gonna jump Peter by here and say 2009.
2009.
Oh, you
Yeah,
you Price is
plus
right
one,
in me,
yeah.
you son of a
I was
gun.
about to say, yeah, you did. Yeah,
Yeah, I
Pat,
did.
if you could give a year and an answer, what would yours be? I know you're full with thoughts. You've been waiting with
1998.
bated breath to participate in the conversation.
2007.
2007.
So we got 2007, 2008.
Oh,
Oh,
2009.
fucked.
Christopher, you are the winner.
Woo!
He started his podcast in 2009
Wow, that's awesome.
in his basement.
Yeah, some of those early ones are
Yeah.
pretty raw.
I just
Like, you know what?
I
feel
remember
like
him talking about Tom Green and his like whole entire
Yes.
setup where
At
like
that
he
point,
had
yeah, Tom Green
cables going all over the place.
He had an international TV station that he broadcasted on,
Yep.
and Joe
Oh, I know
thought
that.
it was the coolest. Yeah, he had a show that he broadcasted from his house in Canada through the early 2000s. Like
Get out, really? I did not know that.
2000
We're almost on 3 years.
I just remember the whole like Joe would talk about like he went on Tom Green's podcast and like he would have
it wasn't even a podcast at that time because
was just
iPods
a-
weren't even
yeah.
around at that
but
point.
like he just had like a setup like he had a room he would interview people
Yep.
and then like he'd have cables running all throughout his house.
There's a great clip of Joe talking
Yes,
about
to
it
Tom
on
Green, yeah.
Tom Green on his thing.
But
He's like,
didn't
"This
he
is-
also? Or no? You're right. I think it is Tom Green. I'm sorry. I was thinking it was who is the guys that in New York? It used to be
Anthony and Opie?
Yeah, Anthony Opie.
Opie and Anthony, sorry.
And yes, Opie and Anthony. And Anthony he was doing a thing out of his basement. And or no, that you're 100% right. So it was Tom Green gave him the idea to
Yeah.
do at home, but he wanted it to be like Opie and Anthony because Opie and Anthony was just comedians having a good time.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah, like
yeah,
he realized what was like with Tom Green. Tom Green was the first person to come out
Absolutely
with it.
right,
It was
Chris.
just, like,
Absolutely right.
It was
Yep.
like, and then he talked about like all these wires and everything, like how he had this like set it up. Like
It was. I mean, this is way back in. To give context, this is like somewhere between
It hit-
2003 to 2009.
I feel
Yeah.
like it was like somewhere between like
if you're a
2000
podcast
and
fan, you know what's
2002,
going
yeah.
on.
Yeah.
You absolutely know what's going on.
and so everything's hardwired at this point. There's no wireless anything.
You're still like most people are still doing dial up, and
And,
some
yeah.
people have to pay extra for that like
Yep.
cable T1 kind
If
of
you
hook
want,
up.
if you want T1 was the internet at
Exactly.
the time, you're paying thousands of dollars a month for
I'm-
T1, which is still probably only like 400 megs, which is something you pay like
You're,
$9.99
like,
a
what
month
it-
now at this point.
What it was back then to what it is now, you're just like
Yeah.
Insane.
you're laughing at it now.
T1 was a dedicated line. You had to get a commercial
And then
like
YouTube.
installation.
These kids have no idea what we have to do. The
Yo, man,
struggle.
dude, the
DSL was the
dude,
shit.
I mean, AOL. Come on, you used to have to. You be chatting with a girl. You'd be like, "Oh, what's up?" and your mom be like, "Get off." Your dad be like, "Get off the."
Hey,
get
girl.
Off. So no one's ever gonna
ASL.
call us.
Or the fact that like you would assign into AOL and like the first thing you hear is like, "You got mail."
And you're like, "Oh, baby."
I didn't,
or
I didn't
you
hear that
had.
message when I logged in.
Oh well, you suck.
Do I hear
Yeah. I was
Lawrence
a-
Lynch was still screaming AOL in like 2012. Like, why, Dad? Why are you buying AOL?
But was it the dial-up?
Is there
or
a
was it-
microphone on?
my dad was buying AOL back then day.
Yeah, he's got it.
It's on.
No, it's on. It's just
It's your voice.
gotta get right up on the
You
mic.
need to- you're one.
Test it
Here's
out.
the thing. So
Given
it's
your-
not like this. It's like this, unfortunately. I know.
Given-
We got the crap mics.
Put it in your mouth. Put it in your
No,
mouth.
given the tone of Pat's voice, Pat sits at a lower bravado. He just needs to project his voice.
So you know what's funny? Tom Waddle. So your dad was 2012.
Waddle waddle.
Waddle. Tom
Waddle,
Waddle, a Chicago Bear legend.
85 Bear.
Legend. He
Legend of 85 Bears.
up till 2019
Super Bowl champion,
was subscribed to
one might say.
AOL. And
Get
yeah,
out.
like an idiot. Like just he didn't know how to get off it.
Isn't
Yeah.
is
I told my
AOL
dad,
like done?
you gotta get out of that shit. This,
Yeah.
stop it.
I know they canceled AOL Instant Messengers. Like AOL just completely done.
No, AOL
No,
is
it's
an
still-
internet
it's still-
browser.
You can still
Yeah.
pay to get it if you want to. Right now. You
Get
can
the
still
hell
pay.
out, really.
Why would they stop it? People are too
You know-
dumb to stop it.
I
Here's-
mean, I
here's-
get it, but like that's just a shock.
Here's a crazy thing. In the last couple weeks, because I'm moving, so I was like, let me see what internet's available. I was really hoping I was in an area that had Google Fiber.
So AOL.
No. But in my research, there's a brand I can do a Google search right now. But the top internet provider.
There you go, Joseph.
RCA.
Sorry. It is not RCA. I guarantee none of you have heard this brand.
Ameritech.
Throw out some names.
What's the one with the green, like the
Mint?
green- yeah, no, not mint. That's
Ryan Reynolds.
who's like the green monster, like the little green ball that like.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. I can see the. It's
Yeah.
a cell phone company though.
Yes, it is. Okay, so that's not internet too. Then okay, my bad. Joseph, hit me with it, baby.
All right, pulling it up here.
AT&T.
Earthlink.
Say the words in the mic. Is that what you want me to do?
I'm not.
AOL,
I'm just
Time
helping you.
Warner.
I'm gonna have an initial.
RCA.
RCA. Net.
America Online.
Netscape.
Net Zero.
No, Net Zero is the parent company. It's some internet provider I've never heard. They're across the entire nation. And Net Zero is the parent company of this internet provider, which I didn't even know existed because
Net Zero still. Wow.
they used to send CD-ROMs.
Yes. Yeah.
God.
It
Net
was-
Zero used to be.
They have evolved, Joe.
Net Zero used to be
they-
a browser, right?
Yes. They bought they're like a parent company of a parent company of a parent company, and now they're kind of like.
Can you imagine those taxes?
Did they buy Netscape?
It's kind of like the Google cell phone providers. If you guys ever have that, they share networks with like T-Mobile and Sprint and AT&T.
Oh, great.
So they
What a-
just kind
what
of
a champion.
spread across the network, and that's exactly what this company does. And they are the most approachable internet at high speeds across the entire nation.
What can I ask? What's the cost looking like?
Oh, for about 500 megs, which is half a gig, you're looking at about $12 to $13 a month.
Oh wow.
Ooh, that's not bad at all.
Yeah, it is
Wow.
very. Now, I've never had the internet. I don't know how
Yeah, you'll figure out what. Yeah.
consistent that is, but it was very approachable.
Is that the internet you're looking at?
No, I want to live.
He's like, nah.
I want to live the good life.
Nah.
I'm about to go. I have
Ooh,
gig,
tell us, rich boy.
and now I want to go. I want to go 2 gig.
With who?
I'm probably gonna go Xfinity.
How much does that cost?
A little over $90 a month.
Oh, God.
Okay, so I paid $90. I gotta figure out where I'm at.
Yeah, if
Wait,
you have
so-
Xfinity,
What does 2 gigs do for you? Like, is there a reason? Like, is there a ridiculous difference? Like, can you tell the difference?
so the biggest, yeah.
Let me ask
I mean,
you. Let me.
I'm a
ask,
big tech head, so yes.
Okay, so no. Okay, hold on, Chris. But break it down for a simpleton like myself. What is 2 gigs? How do you feel the difference?
I feel like I could break it down for you real quick.
Yeah,
Shep and Philly cheese.
Imagine yourself.
Pat's here for the comments and comments only.
Yeah, Pat doesn't have anything to say. Imagine you're
He's just
at,
here so he
imagine
doesn't.
you're at
He doesn't get fined.
imagine you're at your office
I'm listening.
and you're on the old VPN for the accounting firm,
Fair enough.
and you're trying to get into like Lessard and Drake, and it's taking 12 years to get in. Now imagine you're at my apartment where you got like the same thing, but you got VPN access, and you're just flying through everything. That's what I imagine.
Much
difference
like you
is.
would be on a
No, I get
desktop.
it. But so from you, Chris,
Yep.
are you? What do you think you're at?
I think
Because I don't know what's the difference between. I
think
get
it-
what you're saying.
I think I'm at 1 gigabyte.
Okay,
So
And
if
that-
you would double what I'm at,
I think we're at high speed right now.
so you imagine
I'm
double.
gonna get too, and I can remote anything I want to.
Imagine double.
I don't know where does
Sorry.
the speed get? Like, where are we getting at 2 gig? Like, this is getting ridiculous.
I think that at the
All
2
the
gigs,
porn you want, high definition.
shut your mouth. I think at 2 gigs, you're getting the VPN connection that we have on. So like the remote connection.
Okay.
We have.
I get what
we're
you're
getting
saying,
the
but
VPN,
wait, so
yeah.
so for Joe, where are you going with this? Like,
So I
what are
can-
you?
I
Is it the video game? Is like, are you like a step ahead? Like, you got this guy who's like, like loading while you're
kill-
like
you killed
shooting
his
him in the
wife.
head. Is
I
that
wish-
what we're looking at?
I wish my skill was as good enough that I just needed faster internet to be better at video games.
Okay.
But sadly, that is not the case. No. So part of it is remoting in. I remote in from work, and at 2 gigs, you're not getting 2 gigs. At 1 gig, you're not getting a gig internet. You're probably getting like 800 megs.
It feels like I'm getting a
download.
gig.
You're getting like maybe 200 to 400 upload. So it's just the max you can get. At this point, I just want a bigger bandwidth.
Got it.
Which is never going to perform at 2 gigs a second, which is what they advertise. It's just a real thing. It's just so that if I'm working and Sarah's at home and she just happens to be on Netflix, I get to remote in. Remoting in is one of the most heavy bandwidth things you can do.
I've never had any issues with
YouTube, Hulu,
Yeah. Okay.
Netflix, that kind of thing. You're doing that on multiple, TVs, not an issue. But remoting in with work, it is a completely different beast.
Your internet sucks. Me and Peter were remoted in,
I mean,
and we were playing Hulu earlier today, and we had no issues.
Yeah.
No, I get what he's saying. So now I get.
No, I know,
I get.
but
I know. We're just busting balls.
It's-
But
but
I understand where Joe's coming from.
Joe-
Now I get what he's. So if he wants to, I get it. And it's only going to get better.
Joe's internet
everything's
sucks.
just. But no. But think about it. It's just things are going as we're getting. There's more and more stuff that's coming onto
It's
the internet.
improving.
Things
It's
are,
improving.
yes,
It's
I
like-
get it. Now I
it's
get
kind
it.
of like it's kind of like
He's a step ahead because it's only like listen. If you have when we were doing T3,
It's kinda like how we're-
stop. When we were at T3, it was the championship of the internet, and then you would think, oh, you don't need anything besides T3, but no, T3 is slow compared to 1 gig.
Or it's kind of like,
And then you get to gig 2, and you're like, oh, I didn't know I need this until I needed it.
or it's kind of like being on like the 5G network instead of the 4G network, or the 6G or the 10G network that somebody's brought out on the Super Bowl commercial, and you're still on the 5G network.
It's very similar to that.
Unfortunately,
Yes,
Mark.
it's just there's less restriction because I use a lot of data in my thing. So you get 2 gigs per second advertised, and you get a larger bandwidth, and you get a larger data cap. So
Yeah.
with the amount of data you use, depending on what you do, I like to play video games. I watch a lot of YouTube videos. I do a
You
lot.
probably
I do a lot.
You probably
I
do,
work from home.
You probably do a lot more with your internet bandwidth than the 3 of us combined.
Come on, now.
I
No.
think-
when are we ever home? Like besides
I think-
Pat's
but
home.
I-
but
I'm just
yeah.
saying you and me.
but I mean like
ever home.
I
Yeah.
mean just like outside of that,
So-
like if you
No, I
look
get what you're
at
saying.
it,
But this is
like
so.
Joe gets his
If you
mo-
don't use, if you use it, do you lose it?
you
That's
do
what- you
because
lose it, you
apparently
lose it.
we're getting screwed in our internet deal.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the first thing I want to bring to this beautiful podcast, and Chris, I think.
Oh,
that-
you want
I-
to bring it on? You
I-
want to bring it on?
I thought you would enjoy this.
Oh,
This
you
is
think-
for you.
Is it wrestling related?
No, hell, well, kind of. Not really, but the haircut
Oh,
you
yeah,
would
so-
like. If we both had hair, I think you and me both would have the same thing.
None of us have hair besides Joe.
I miss having hair.
You shut your whore mouth.
I'm sorry.
Excuse me?
I gotta leave this podcast.
You also have like weird hair, by the way.
Peter. Oh, I do have weird hair.
You
yeah.
really do have weird
It
hair. but-
grows out. It grows whatever direction is like perpendicular to my scalp. It is 45 degrees. It is perfect. It's a 90-degree angle from my scalp. It just grows straight out the hole. If I grow this out,
he's got like such fluffy like. I feel like if he kept growing it, it would just look like an afro.
I have thick, soft hair.
Yeah, so I went to him. at the
But
bar
it grows
today.
straight
I'm like,
out.
yo, Joe, what you doing, baby? Where we going with this?
heard that. I heard it.
And he doesn't know. So, ladies and gentlemen, keep tuning in. You'll never know. You find out.
Listen, I change it up every year. Every year.
I'll show you.
Nice.
All right, so Chris, I feel like if you and me both if we had hair,
I'd have a mullet.
this guy, he knew me before I even said
He
it.
was, yeah, you.
So
I mean,
world champions, the world championship of mullets is going on this weekend.
Oh.
thing of mullets.
Come on,
That's
buddy.
so specific.
Come on,
Not even
buddy.
hair. Like you hear, there's the beard competition, but it's the entire beard. This is one specific
I feel like-
style of hair on the head.
I feel like I could grow out the back of my hair and have a mullet pretty well, but it'd just be like bald with the mullet. And it would not look good.
Wait, they call it something.
The business in the
Do they
front.
really?
They do. Damn it.
No. Here's
No,
the
they
thing.
do.
Bring
They
it
do.
up.
They call it. hold on.
Chris's business in the front may have been
Party in
shut
the
down for
back.
the last 3 years due to COVID and would not look healthy. So the party in the back, though.
What's the party in the back look like?
Looking luscious.
What's it named?
Fine. We just call it silk.
Hey,
It
just-
looks
Sorry,
so
it's called a
good.
skullet.
Oh yes, that would be
Christopher
great.
Brown with the skullet.
I feel like it should be called the Daniel Boone.
That's a pretty good one too, buddy. It's pretty good.
Pat, if you just want to turn your microphone off and go upstairs and go to bed, we'll finish this off without you.
Yeah, don't worry.
No. So this is the reason I'm.
You say too much. You bitch man. I don't say anything.
Oh, what's that mush mouth? Say that again. One more time.
I said you bitch when I say too much.
No, you're good.
Joe. And you bitch when I say nothing.
Can I see, let me see this mic real quick.
No, it's going up there.
You guys get me or no?
Yeah, you're on
Yeah,
number
yeah.
one, and you're all the way to the top. He's got it.
coming across loud and clear.
Oh no, I'm not. I'm just gonna get a little closer.
He's got it. He's
Oh, he's good. Okay.
Yeah.
I might be too hot then. So I'm trying to get or whatever. So a 7-year-old mullet made him stand out.
Get out, really.
Now his Chicago. He calls his mullet the Chicago Cascade.
What's the Chicago Cascade look like?
I'll send my phone around there.
No, you
And he-
post it. You post it.
Oh, of course.
You
You know what? I
Listen,
will.
you walk up to Starve Rock. You
put
look at that
2120 on
waterfall,
this bitch.
Thank you.
You walked up to Starve Rock. Sorry,
I'll
I'm
start
memorizing
bunch of
that
face.
for myself.
That's where you're gonna bust his balls. This motherfucker's mush. Just
Yeah,
as much
mush
mush.
mouth is cute.
Yeah, mush mouth is just as bad as you
Wait for
are.
the punchline here. Wait for the punchline.
I trip over words. They get scary.
All right, so we'll go back to this.
So
The
is the
Chica-
kid from Illinois?
The only reason I'm bringing this up is the
God.
man is from the kid is from Gladstone Park.
Illinois,
okay.
Chicago, right up Northwest Highway by fucking Superdog.
If you're
Devin DeCastro's neighbor.
if you're older than 20, the Blue Angel used to be right there.
Oh yeah,
An
Which
old
now is
faithful classic.
the Blue Angel, which served
Served
underage
underage,
alcohol.
yeah. Oh, who knew that one?
Oh.
But so this beautiful young man is going to win himself a national championship at the Mullet Championship.
Can I see this
with the
guy?
Chicago
Can I-
Cascade?
It's pretty solid. It's pretty solid.
Oh baby, oh,
And it will be
baby.
posted, right? I will. This is
wow.
yeah, it's tremendous. This is tremendous.
Joe, we could do it
How
right here
old
for
is
the
that
wedding.
kid?
7 years old.
You know who
What a
can't do that with
hero.
his hair? Chris.
You know what sucks? So Joe's got he's got poof. I have curls, so I couldn't. I would love to have that straight hair like
We
that.
can straighten it out for you. Want get your hair straight?
No, you got to do work to do that.
We'll
But
get you
that-
straight.
I can put in my beard.
That's a nice balance in between, because if I grew out my hair, I'd look like Hanson, and I just look like I'm about to
bop.
start a cult or some real
bop.
shitty #1 song that,
Dude,
yeah.
dude.
What
All
are
right.
you shocked about, Pat? Like that was the song in the 90s
Yeah,
when we
we
were
were-
growing
you
up.
guys are like karaokeing up together right now. It's
Why not?
shocking me a little.
Well, you just sit there and not talk anymore.
I'm confused by the bop.
I love that there's the Mullet Championships, by the way, though. That's pretty
That
solid.
is- that is
Dude,
glorious.
the mullet
Hey,
is
Chris and I saw the champion earlier tonight. Looking Fields.
There was a
There was a good mullet.
Oh.
You know what's the best? So they're doing it all day. So, ladies and gentlemen, they were doing it on the radio. You know who they were playing? What clip they kept playing about mullets?
Morgan Wallen.
I feel like it has to be Theo Vaughn, but it's not.
No, it's a comedian.
Oh,
though.
Joe, I was gonna say Joe Dirt.
Nope. It's a comedian though, Chris. You're close. I know you know it.
Comedian
Yeah,
about
the answer.
mullets?
My side hurts so bad.
Theo Von, not the
It
answer?
can't be Ralph. Oh, Ralphie May. Ralphie May with the most. Oh,
Ooh, yes. So Rafi May, my mullet sensors are going off, and I look to my right. And they're all week on WGN. They're just Rafi May clips. Rafi May is one.
oh
So-
if you don't know, you don't know.
Yeah, listen, Rafi May was one of the best comedians ever. We saw him, me, Pat, and Chris saw him live. I wish I was lying. My sides hurt so much I was laughing the day before. Comedian wise,
Somebody call the Red Power Ranger.
I've seen so many
Yep.
comedians, and it always goes Rafi May and then everybody else for sure.
Oh, Ralphie May was by far the best. comedian
He was dying. I remember he came up. He had the flu. He had the Irish flu probably, but he was dying, and he came up and he gave one of the best shows ever. And me and Pat and Chris were probably 24 years old at that point.
I mean, I had to be like at least 25. You guys
Yeah.
had to be somewhere between 22 and
Chris is old
23.
as fuck.
Yeah.
And we were dying. It was great. All right, Chris, give me a little bit. So, ladies and gentlemen, the weather in this, you know, people like to say, and I'm not trying to make this a controversial, weird podcast, because when you're a comedy podcast, everyone wants to joke and have a good time. And I feel like we're mostly
saying it's raining bullets in Chicago.
No.
You wish.
Oh my.
No, it is raining like a mother. But the weather, like, can we almost agree, like, climate change might be realistic? Like,
It's pretty close.
it's
to being
pretty
realistic.
realistic. Like, the weather is really ridiculous these
The fact
days.
that I have over there right now, I have things that could defend my.
Hey, Pat, just
water
turn the
tank.
mic. There you go.
I have things right now that could defend my hot water tank from getting overflooded with water.
Oh, really?
Yeah. No, yeah, you're right. You have to.
They're right
It's
behind
just-
them.
But
It's
so
just
Chris has a
barricade
great.
of buckets.
Chris has an insane story from Phoenix, Arizona. That is, it's just insane. And I had a guy. So I'm sorry. We're tax accountants, whatever. Blah blah. I have a client who moved to Arizona. I'm like, hey, how's the heat there? I hear it's kind of. He's like, oh, it doesn't like 95 all the time. It's not bad, dude.
It's been miserable. Like they've been on a 14-day, like record-setting heat streak, the last 2 weeks, and like it's only getting worse this week. Like they're supposed to be like 117 today, 118 tomorrow, 100 like I think it was either 17 or 19 on Sunday.
Only 117 tomorrow.
Did you
And
guys?
it doesn't get below 112 degrees
But Chris,
for the next 10 days.
it's a dry heat.
100. No. But
No.
Go ahead, Joe. Go ahead, Joe.
Mine
Wait,
is separate.
yep.
Go ahead and then
No.
I'll jump in.
What I wanted to bring up was Chris is talking about. So everybody, the homeless populations in California, Illinois, Chicago, everybody's got a homeless population.
It's getting out there.
It's crazy.
Does Phoenix have one?
Phoenix does, and
Yes.
here's a real issue. If you sit down, put any type of skin
If
on
you touch-
sidewalk.
pavement in that. It's like they've done so much like expansion, like in terms of like cities, sidewalks, asphalt.
They kick you over it.
They can't control the heat there, so like the temperature is like it may say 100 like 12 degrees outside. It's 160 on the pavement.
On the surface, yeah.
They've had kids like one guy, like one story was some guy's kid went out the doggy door and out to the patio, and he got 2nd-degree burns on the bottom of his feet because the temperature on the patio was like 130 degrees.
Yeah.
It's miserable. Like you hear all these stories, like guys who are on drugs, they like take like some like heroin, cocaine, something, and then they end up passing out on the ground, and then it's noon and the temperature on the surface is 160 degrees. Their body like 70% of their body is covered
Just
in
boils.
2nd-degree burns.
Yep.
And their brain is fried. Like they can't save these people.
Yeah.
It's nuts.
It's insane.
And it's not getting any better for these people.
And they
down
talk
there.
about the wildfires. Like the wildfires have not burned hotter because it's they have a ton of grass there, and it dries up. It's kindled like a ridiculous. 28. Are we recording?
Oh, we are.
No, we're
we
not.
are.
No.
And okay, but no. So the kindle the problem is all these places have so much dry wood, so much dry grass. There's not been this year alone. There's not been more fires in Canada and America at the same time. If you look at the map, good lord, it is insane.
It's ridiculous.
The crazy thing about the fire in Canada, proportionally, it's just so much bigger than even the wildfires that comparatively, I think the wildfires in California are 10 times smaller than what's going on in Canada
it's insane.
right now. The proportions are just so much bigger.
If you look from the satellite, but if you look from satellite, it looks like Canada's on fire. It's insane.
Yeah.
It legitimately looks like Canada's on
I mean,
fire.
the population, though, if you look at Canada's population, it's very minimal as being affected.
They're,
by it.
yeah, the density of their cities are very it's
They
very
have major bouts. Yeah.
It's very separated. A lot of Canada,
They're not
I think,
like the U.S. at all.
I think it's statistically something like 92% of Canada is unpopulated.
They're like, fuck it.
And the rest of the population is divided amongst like the 8% that is habitable, and a majority of those around like 3 cities.
I mean, in the same situation, like you should look at like in Phoenix, where like most of like heat waves happening, like we were talking about, they have ice that they are specifically saving for certain situations. Like they put ice in the refrigerator, and like this is ice for the ER, or this is ice for this is ice for that. Like you can't touch. Like they are like trying to do so much. They're in their bus stops. They're putting misters in their bus stops
that could cool the air.
That cools the air by 30 degrees, so they can keep people cooler. Like they're sending their their fire department just out there sending IVs out with like 60-degree temperature IVs to cool people's bloods down, just so they can keep them alive.
This is separate from the wildfires, but while I was away,
in Japan,
a thing I read. Well, it made the news, so that's why I'm like, it's very international. But the global temperature was the highest it's ever been.
Oh yeah,
ever in history.
Yeah, they were talking about that.
Recorded history. Like the average temperature across the world was something in the 60s, which is
it was something. It wasn't like it. Like on paper,
it
didn't
sounds
look like
silly,
but on paper, it didn't look like it was that much. But like in reality, it was. It's that much.
Insane.
Huge. Yeah.
It was like something like the temperature raised by 0.3, but it was like it's the highest temperature. Like it's the highest jumping like ever.
Let's just keep crapping on Earth, and we're just destroying this with in Alaska.
Don't worry, Peter. You'll be on a flight to Pluto in about 20 years.
In Alaska, unfortunately, they think it was like they traveled no, you know what happened is probably we sent them potting soil, and people are doing like their flowers and their things, whatever. They now have earthworms.
Oh, for the first time ever?
And it's a disease for them, because here you see earthworms in the soil, and it's great.
How is that disease?
I think Super Nintendo video game
because
my favorite time of all time.
Oh, you liked Earthworm Jim?
Oh, I loved Earthworm.
Oh, Earthworm Jim was the best. No, so they're not natural in Alaska right now. They have they have plant life that is so diverse that these earthworms are going to come in there, and these are like
they're destroying the environment.
Yeah,
exactly. Out, really?
They're so scared. They're insanely scared because they don't know what's going to happen, and you can't eradicate earthworms.
Have you ever seen the in Florida? They have these African snails that like they have to quarantine areas.
Yes.
Have you seen how big those?
Oh,
insane. Oh my God! Look up how big these snails are.
They're insane. And it's because what do they bring a disease, right?
They do something like it's
like leprosy, I think.
That's what I thought it was too, but I'm not 100%.
They offer blankets to the Floridan snails.
No, they don't.
And they give them smallpox. It's devastating. Their shells are ravaged. Snails are crying. It's awful. It's awful.
And Pat, what do you think of that, buddy? And what do you think of that, Pat?
I do know in Alaska that they have no pigeons. So if you, Katrina's dad told me that
chonksters.
Like
they're like small kittens.
Shit ton of money to upload there. So if you can find a way to get pigeons from here to Alaska, they will use them for like training hunting dogs and all kind of things like that.
Pigeons?
Yes, pigeons.
They don't have another.
There are no pigeons in Alaska.
You know why? Because the bald eagles probably eat the crap out of those things.
Also, like Katrina's dad breeds pigeons. He has pigeons in his backyard. Like a little coop with pigeons in it.
I've seen pigeons get eaten by hawks. It's not great.
I've seen Katrina's dad like take a pigeon out of his thing and like his dog go like wait, and then like go like fucking just get it.
A live pigeon?
Yeah,
that's not good.
I once saw a live pigeon fly into the window at the CTA stop and cough up blood.
I've seen
and
a
die.
Corvus where they said in the windows.
Wait, can we go back? Hot second. 1 second. Wait, Joe, what?
One fine morning, young, starry-eyed, walked to the train to go to work at this beautiful company that I'm about to start, right out of college. Some would say a mythical journey that leads to discoveries that are enlightening in life and love. And a big old pigeon just dived right into a window, head first, splattered itself, left a nice, dusty, Looney Tune-like imprint in the window. Started walking all crooked-like, much like Pat Lynch after a good night of drinking. You know,
nice.
Little teetery left and right. Little did a coughed up some blood, and then just died right there.
Yeah. Sorry, so my office space in Geneva, our building is all glass, and I swear to God, there's this cardinal. Isn't kind of an ugly cardinal. It's not like a pretty red cardinal, but it's kind of like a very. It's like a.
I can only imagine why he's ugly based on where the story.
I swear to God, the motherfucker every morning, dun, dun, and I'm like, and I see him walk away or fly away
like a champion,
and I'm like, what do you want?
How are you still alive?
I've seen. The worst one was Joe hit it, falls, wings wide open on the floor.
Oh yeah, it's some sort of.
And no animal takes it. It decomposes. Yeah. Oh, I'm like, why doesn't any animal come and get this? There's coyotes over there. There's everything. It's crazy.
Mine was inside the CTA stop where the doors were. Somehow got inside.
Of course, they used to the second floor windows all the time. Like bam, and just dead. On the outside.
Yeah, not alive.
Yeah.
You know what's crazy? The Atlanta Stadium. They had to come up with an environmental stop. They were killing thousands of birds every year.
If you're in Lincoln Park, you see the glass. In Lincoln Park, they have those dots on the glass.
Yeah,
it's to stop birds from seeing the.
I heard the same thing with Minnesota.
Yes, Minnesota is bad too.
Minnesota State has the same shit on the window, so birds stop flying into it.
Yeah. Okay, so I got a couple things I want to talk about before we get out of here.
You do?
Did you guys? Have you ever heard of the Long Island serial killer? The guy who in New Jersey.
I just read about this today.
There's this beachfront, and there's 10 bodies.
Is this the 14-mile stretch?
Yeah.
Yep.
And aren't they usually chopped up, buried?
Yeah, they're streetwalkers, prostitutes.
Yeah, unfortunately, yes. Yeah.
I don't know what the real word is.
There's a famous case that Brother Slight that was a girl that was called the cops. Running down the street. Yeah.
But they couldn't figure out who it was.
Yeah, and she was still running, but they were like, "Hey, they think it's the
guy." And then they went and dug up. You're 100% right, Pat. And they dug up 10, but they're not sure if all 10
are related.
Because this is like a dumping ground unfortunately for bodies. But there's 10 of them there, and they've just arrested a guy today. His name is
today, huh?
Today. His what's his architect, Rex Herman, at 59 years old.
Didn't they think it was a cop that possibly?
Yes, they thought it was a cop. This guy, you know how they got him? This is what I've read a little bit is, I think it's on cell phone data.
No, get out.
This is insane. It's not. Yeah, it's
if you're
insane.
In an emergency, don't bring your smartphone with you.
No, here's the thing. You have to leave it on and leave it at your apartment.
Yeah, let's go somewhere else.
Yeah.
I was home all night.
That's fucking nuts.
Sleeping.
10 people, and it's been over 20 years that he's got away with it.
A very famous case. It's been forever.
Yep.
She was the one who was
Thank you, Pat, Joe.
who was there, and they saw her. She called the cops. She was running down the street, and they found her in this brush and stuff. It's a really famous case, and they thought they could never find this guy, so maybe the same guy.
I was listening to me and Joe were talking about this at the Cubs game. What kind of podcast we're listening to? There's Tom Segura did a Are You Garbage? Tremendous. Tom Segura's great. I feel bad for Bert. He's getting a lot of crap for his last special that's on Netflix. Getting really poo-pooed on. Tom Segura's number 1 on Netflix.
Is Bert's special not the one we saw?
It was. I thought it was great, but I haven't seen it. Lauren didn't like it on Netflix. Lauren did not like it.
I haven't even heard about it.
Yeah, I didn't either.
You told me.
I mean,
it's not even registering
the escape room one that was
as a recommended thing.
Hilarious.
Whatever the one on Netflix right now, he got panned for. So I got to look at it. I don't know what it's called. Tom Segura's number 1 right now on Netflix, by the way.
Nice.
But so I have no idea where I was going with this.
You were talking about some guy who was serial killing people in New York.
Oh yes, So
bring it back, Chris.
to bring it back, I don't know why where I went with this.
Yeah, I don't know why you got on Tom Segura on that one.
Go on, though, Peter.
I'm trying to think where I was going to go with this now. I'm sorry. Jesus Christ. So we were talking about like podcast. Jeez. We're talking about podcasts, what we were listening to. Joe and me were talking a little about something. But I forever and ever will always be a police interrogation guy. I'm on all the latest in police interrogations. And they talk about this one that's been unsolved for 16 years. And it was a Dateline one, actually, Pat. It was one in Arkansas.
Can I just say a quick side note?
Joe.
Pat, we're painting my place. Pat was listening to Dateline while he was painting.
Oh, nice.
Was that last night?
Yeah. So this one's from Arkansas. It was
a girl that got kidnapped by some
Somalia. Yeah, me and Chris
heard that one.
Yeah. So this girl was from Arkansas. She was going to college, came to see her on and off again boyfriend. Stayed with her for the weekend. He went to work at Sonic. She got murdered in that place.
Sonic?
No, I'm sorry. In that guy's apartment.
In Sonic.
Okay.
And so supposedly he went with his buddies. He never does this, but he went with his buddies out that night. They had a good time. They went to see a movie, blah, 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 blah.
Well, that would be our problem, wouldn't it, boys?
What? He did something out of the ordinary?
Yeah, so he came back like a day later and like the mattress full of blood, like the in the washer it was full of or had bloody clothing, blah blah blah. They didn't find her for a little bit down the ways, but the guy who supposedly did it was his cousin,
allegedly.
But there's an 8-hour interrogation of this idiot. He lives in the Philippines. He has a farm in the Philippines. Came back because of COVID.
Oh, what a dummy!
Goes to.
I remember this one. This is the guy. Yeah, I know this one.
Goes to the interrogation.
The guy that came back. He told his mom to lie when he's come back to the U.S. Right? Mm-hmm. Yep. This fucking moron should never came back.
Did an 8-hour and did a polygraph. He failed
miserably.
Quote unquote failed miserably. They always say that. Failed miserably. Then
there's no way to pass a polygraph. You either fail or you don't fail.
No, it doesn't matter. So then he admitted to it, but they don't think it's true because they think actually the guy the on again off again boyfriend did it.
I thought the guy he admitted, did he not?
Yeah, no, he did. He's going for 4 years, but they don't.
Why would you come back from the Philippines?
We listened to this one when we were at Joe's place in the basement. I had this one on the podcast.
Okay, we won't get off this show. I'm just. But the thing is, there are. You remember Tara Greenstead? She was another one. That podcast, like the podcast, brought this to light and like made it huge. Like there's so many lights on it, and these idiots who. Like these guys who did it, these two dudes who did Tara Grinstead killed this woman for no reason. They don't tell the real reason. Then they brought her out to a pecan farm, burned her. And they got away with it because they had no fucking clue. These guys and then this podcast started and they're like, oh my God, we're going to figure this out. We're going to figure this out. We're going to figure this out. And these idiots can't stay away. They get into the podcast and then the cops are like,
then they had to
cops come like, and the cops come in and are like, hey, you seem like you really like this podcast. Like, why? And then they spill their guts because for 40 years they can't handle the pressure, and then they get the outlet and then they spill it to the cops. This guy came back from the Philippines, saw this podcast, could not stay out of it. Kept talking to these.
Asked his mom.
Yes.
Asked the request to talk to his mom.
Yep. Dude, oh my God! Talked about the podcast. Talked to these people who were running this podcast. Gave them ideas. Told them what to do.
Why?
They came in, the cops came in like, hey, we see you like this podcast. Would you mind just doing we're just doing people, neighbors, whatever. And
listen, we'll put you on camera. We'll ask you a couple questions. Just see what you think about
You're great. And every time, the whole 8 hours. I've watched 8 hours of this guy's interrogation. They're just like, you're a great guy. You're a Christian lover. You're a good guy. No.
Coca-Cola.
Yes. Do you want to, can we get you McDonald's?
We'll get you 10.
5 minutes later, he's confessing to taking a piano like and bashing her in the head for fun of it.
They let him go out to
Christ.
talk to his mom, and he
Wow.
came back and still confessed to this murder.
I just want to say you took me on an emotional roller coaster because when you originally talked about this guy, I thought he just got swept up. This poor immigrant man.
Nope.
No.
Yeah, you
Then
got
we go
me
in.
too.
No.
He did it. He
Supposedly,
came back.
and then he quoted, quote unquote, confessed. He's only getting 40 years because they have no evidence that he did it.
That's just a joke.
He's only getting 40 years. But
Besides
supposedly
his
he's killed.
confession.
Yeah, if he didn't ever confess, they have nothing on it. They
Yeah,
have
minus the
nothing.
confession that he said he did it.
They have nothing.
They got
And
nothing.
his mom lied to the cops about when he was coming back to
Yeah,
the U.S. too.
100%. Yep, and his brother did too.
So, Joe, what kind of podcast
But
do you listen to?
So sorry, I'm one on this, but they don't think it's actually him. They think
Wait, really?
the boyfriend did it, and
I don't know. I feel like
What?
I feel like it was that guy. I feel like it was that guy.
Wait, did he pay
no.
the
But
guy?
if you listen to the podcast,
I'm out. I'm done with
sorry,
this
we're
podcast.
gonna end on this. I apologize, but if you listen to
You're
they
taking
did
me- you're
they
taking me
did the
to too
crime
many
at
loops.
Crime Con. They talked about this. They don't think it's him. They think he covered for Casey.
Those
who's the
assholes,
boyfriend.
all of you
Why would you do
assholes
that?
have taken
Why?
me through too many loops.
Wait, you mean
The family-
bunch
'cause-
of people that listened to the podcast and made their decision based on the podcast?
No. The actual so these are forensics people who
Oh, my bad.
had to push the they had to push to get the original detective who. If you listen, I know this is, but they had to push the
All I'm
original.
hearing-
Wait, stop! They had to push the original detective off the case. Got a new detective. The new detective's like, oh, this seems pretty simple. Got a conviction in 8 months.
Cut dry, a little bit
Yes.
of glue stick. He did it.
Yeah.
I've been told stop twice, but all I'm
Listen.
hearing is he said that somebody said he's done it, and then somebody says no, they haven't done it, and we need to move on.
No. Well,
And
I'm just
he did it, but he didn't do it. But
Yeah.
did he lose it?
He confessed, but
Somebody
his family.
converts him to it, and then like a bunch of other people say, nah, he didn't do it.
I
And,
feel like
like,
I feel they're the right guy.
I think I don't know. I would like to look a little bit more, but what they think happened is the guy that confessed, his family was poor. The Casey's family is rich. They bought a bunch of land to protect the mother, his brothers, his family. They're gonna take care of him. He got away with quote unquote he's gonna serve 40 years. Parole, he'll get out in 20 years.
The family bought
A
the
bunch of
other
land. Yes.
family for
Before
the-
this, they knew it was coming. Before, because of the podcast, they knew this was coming. They did all this stuff. They talk about how they did all this stuff, and one guy took the fall. He's 40 years convicted. He's got 40 years sentence with parole. He'll get out early.
And ladies and gentlemen, this has been the S&P podcast. We'll see you later.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to bring this on this whole podcast. But it was crazy.
That is just fucking nuts.
Isn't that insane?
Did you do 40
Cubs-
years that? I mean, would you do 40 years that?
So you got to think.
I
you're
went
gonna
through
outlive
20
the time.
minutes. I went
No, it's
through
gonna
20
be-
minutes for Peter and the fucking
No,
god.
hell no. Listen, if you ever listen to
You do an hour every Saturday, bitch.
Have you seen 60 Minutes in? Goddamn, no
No
chance.
way. There's no way.
No chance.
I would never do 40 years to somebody else if I didn't.
Chris,
do
It
would
wouldn't
you
be
like to
40
do
years,
the
but I know
Hard
what you're
Knocks
saying.
in the
or
McGraw
20
family.
years,
And Chris
10
is
years,
like, no,
15
thank
years,
you.
whatever. I'm not doing 15 years. Then.
Could you? No, I can't.
I feel like I could survive maybe the second best out of all of us. Peter probably do the best.
Chris is scary enough looking.
Peter would-
like you're a
Peter would
gorgeous
just
man, but
start-
with the beard, it scares somebody.
You gotta shave, Chris.
Fucking
Pat would be somebody's bitch.
Pepsi
I'll
would be
be down
That
done.
we're
with
big
fuck.
enough to be fine.
I'd be fucked.
Pepsi would be
Peter,
God
Peter
too.
would be coming in. He'd just start like working out. He'd get that. Like,
Oh, I get
that-
damn.
He'd get that gym ripped where
Yes.
it's just like scary and
I
intimidating.
feel like Peter would just
I would
start
stab somebody
Peter
right
would be
away.
punching the wall, like pissed off that the stock market's beating him again. He'd be like, "Hey, you motherfucker!" Like,
Goddamn Stansberry.
why is he punching the wall? Why is
He'd
he
be putting holes in concrete.
Stansberry?
You're like, Jesus Christ, that guy's crazy. He's like, no, he's not crazy.
Microsoft's down 3 points.
Dogecoin really fucking shit the bed last night.
All right, so let's liven this up a little bit. Let's get. Let's
Are we
get
gonna
some
liven
trivia
up
in.
finally?
Let's get some. I'm sorry, Chris. I know you're so happy.
I mean, Jesus.
Doing it.
Oh,
Pat said like 5 words on this podcast.
No, he was pretty good on that
No,
list.
I wasn't.
yeah.
he was good.
You sure your
Ladies and gentlemen, on this beautiful podcast, we end this on a feel-good story type of situation. This actually makes me very happy. Deforestation fell 26% in Colombia, Amazon last year. That's amazing.
Nice.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
That
Have
makes
you
me really
ever
happy.
seen have you ever seen the South Park episode where they go down to save the rainforest and they talk shit about the rainforest?
Wait, no, what?
Oh, so good.
Wait, what is that? I'm sorry, Chris.
The South Park. They do an episode where
that's awesome.
they do like kids and they're like getting gay with kids. And like, I don't want to get gay with kids. And then like, at the end of it, they talk shit about the rainforest. The rainforest kills like 7 million people a year or something like that. Like, we should just cut down the rainforest. It's so good. Like, you shouldn't listen to them, but it's so hilarious just to listen to it.
The whole episode, what I felt like, because
it's like a satire thing.
They're just making fun of stats.
Yeah, exactly.
Like it's like you just said they reduced the cutting down by 25-26%.
Yeah, who knows? Yeah, you're right.
And then
they're still killing football fields.
Opposite side of it though, the rainforest does kill a bunch of people, but it's also enormous. So it's like these numbers sound awful in comparison.
The best part is they're down in Costa Rica and they're like, these are the Costa, like they're like on the bus and Eric's on the bus and this lady like who's the voice is Jennifer Aniston and the lady's like, we're in Costa Rica. This is the Costa Rican people. And like Eric Cartman's like, oh look, it's Costa Rican prostitutes, and he's looking out the window, and the lady's like, oh, why don't you take a picture? And he's like, it will last longer. And Eric Cartman takes his hands, puts it into a camera, he's like, click, and it's so fucking good.
Yeah. Okay. I thought this was pretty cool. A simple urine test could detect a deadly brain tumor that could kill you within 12 months.
Get out, really?
That's pretty nice.
What brain tumor?
You're asking questions.
Another tumor.
It's the one.
Another tumor.
It's the tumor in the brain. One of those ones.
Hey, what does your daddy do?
Who is your daddy?
So actually, it's just like could be administrative routine checkups can detect cancers, even the early stage. Brain cancers are often detected late and so are difficult to remove using surgery. Most aren't aware of a brain tumor. It's like the
the urine test kind of shows you that you have a brain. Nice.
This is a great thing in that it's specific to brain tumors, which are very fast acting. Based on what he said, and so it kind of gives you like a very easy way to. I mean,
your
lady takes a pregnancy test. You take a brain tumor test.
You pee on a stick. You're figuring it out.
A nice monthly ritual.
Nice.
Yeah.
Way to go, Joe. You got something to look forward to.
One of these is this one was insane. Man finds a surprise of a life in his field. So this is a farmer. He found 700 coins from the Civil War.
Oh,
nice.
Worth how much?
Oh, that just has to be like
it was all gold. So it was mostly gold, and I think like a portion was silver. So whatever the weight in gold is.
Oh, nice.
Wow. These are all minted.
Does the U.S. get a cut of that? Because
I feel like
consisting of nearly 700 $1, $10, and $20 gold dollars issued by the U.S. Mint between 1840 and 1863. The crazy part is there are coins in this that. So he's actually effing up the coin market because like guys who had these like, specifically like crazy coins, now there's like 50 of them.
I feel like those coins, not based off their weight, are worth more because they're aged.
Yeah. Yeah. You're absolutely
right. It's beyond the weight of
at
the
this
material.
stage. Yeah, exactly.
At this point, you're paying for like weight and
nostalgia.
Age.
Nostalgia.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to give you two more really quick.
Oh, baby.
So I thought this was pretty cool.
We're going to ask all the questions.
24 million miles ahead of Tesla, autonomous semi-truck logs accident-free milestone on delivery routes, which is
How
great.
Many more 100 miles?
24 million miles ahead of Tesla.
Whoa.
Where was it just going back east to west coast here?
I'm guessing it's this actually an autonomous truck that's moving around.
Or can it fly across oceans?
Here's the thing.
Probably some solid asphalt,
sorry.
little bit of concrete.
It's China's leading developer of autonomous driving technologies of heavy-duty trucks.
Okay, so there's a lot of room between China. There's a lot of room between Asia and Europe on that bitch.
24 million miles.
But here, the only kind of tough part is, I know we're having a hard time filling truck driving roles, but as soon as that's a job that we're losing.
How do you? So just like.
But there are people who are going to have to wash those trucks.
Get a new job, Peter.
But people are going to have to wash those trucks, though.
But like the other thing is like you don't know the answer to this question. I don't think anybody here at the stable knows. But like, how does it work at like? Because obviously, once you get through like China, how does it work when you get to that border? Like you're gonna have to show, like they want to see some type of passport.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
And I wonder how that's gonna work in that situation.
Your stuff gets sent through customs. Like,
I would.
But there's nobody in that truck if it's driving by itself.
I would add a couple caveats to this.
Probably the company's responsible.
I don't think it's going international, so you don't have to worry.
China doesn't care. The U.S. is the one.
Hey, Joe, were you talking or were you not talking?
You're good, Joe. Finish it up.
Oh no, the start of my sentence interrupted, or the middle of my sentence interrupted the start of that
I apologize.
No. No, I was just gonna say I imagine a majority of this,
is intercommerce?
This AI, driving technology is purely in China, and it's usually I can only guess at 24. You said 24 million.
24 million ahead of Tesla.
It's got to be like rural roads that are just like driving in between these like very long areas of just rice paddy farmland kind of area.
I know China's a big country, but like I can't imagine like between China, like you have to make a bunch of round trips on that one.
Which is crazy.
I mean, it's just a crazy idea to think about. Like in
24
terms
million
of like
miles ahead of Teslas.
24
I'm not
million.
saying you're wrong, but if you take the country of China and put it anywhere, like
it dwarfs
X and Y axis it just covers so much, and China is so few and far between. Like you're taking there, even if they don't even drop off house to house. They're just taking it from village to village.
Yep.
You're dealing 20, 40 miles in between.
And also, who knows when they started? That's the thing too. We don't. Tesla could. Here's the thing: China doesn't have the regulations that Illinois or U.S. has. So U.S. is not allowed Tesla to get out early. And China was just like, go.
And not to get conspiracy theory, but this is coming out of China, and they dictate their like data that comes out. It could not be nearly that much.
Oh, it's true.
It could be 24,000. And they're just like, it's fantastic,
So, I mean, I just out of curiosity, I looked up how far it is between New York City and Los Angeles, California. It's 2,794 miles. Okay. Imagine, like, so you're talking 25 miles. So you got to be like, or that you got to talk about like 10,000 times between 25 million miles.
Yeah.
So like you got to make between. I don't know how big.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. But here's the other thing.
That is a huge amount of trips.
That's not even. That's not. Okay, so we're gonna end on this beautiful podcast on a kind of a nice note. The Netherlands has decided to return 500 looted objects to Indonesia and Sri Lanka.
The Netherlands.
Yeah.
Those
mothers.
I would ask how they ended up with those looted items, but you don't know.
They looted them.
How dare you?
Did they loot them? I don't feel like they looted them. I feel like they ended up with
It's
them
possible,
somehow.
you're right.
They just happen to stumble upon and find them in a grassy knoll somewhere in the Netherlands.
Could I also say,
or possibly Nazi Germany, who occupied them back in the 1940s, could have left that treasure there.
I don't know how
and
they
they
get it
just
from
had
that,
it.
but
But
you're right. You're right. But here's the thing, Pat. Was your beautiful Hams hat on tonight? Did you have a Hams beer at Wrigley Field?
No.
No, I did not.
Have you had a Hams beer in the last 6 months?
Yes.
What do you think of Hams?
It's a solid light lager.
Where'd you have the Hans beer at?
It was at a bar. I don't recall the exact bar, but I did have one at a bar.
Okay.
Noise. I was thinking about having Hams, and that's all I wanted to see. I love the hat. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you again here for joining us on a beautiful Saturday morning. Boys, thank you guys for doing this podcast this late. I know we all got to go home and go to bed. Ladies and gentlemen, you're not getting rid of us. We're here forever. Hit that like, subscribe, email Pat Lynch at the Saturday Night Pregame Podcast at gmail.com. Make sure to ring that bell. Hit the comments, get us in the algorithm. We appreciate the guy who hit us up on the NASCAR clip. You got all the best, and thank you for all the.
It was the most thoughtful comment we've ever gotten.
Thank you for all the new 8 subscribers that have joined us in the last 2 weeks. Hopefully, you guys are liking the content. You probably just like the shorts, and we're gonna keep them coming. You guys, enjoy yourself. Be safe. Have a good time. Let's go, Windy City, baby.
Joe's still wrong about China. Bye.